primeira palestra é O Caminho da Grande Potência passa pela Educação, com a doutora Xiaosu Zhu. Ela é diretora chinesa do Instituto de Negócios da FAAP e da Universidade de Negócios e Economia Internacional de Pequim, na China. Ela obteve seu doutorado na Universidade de Bonn, na Alemanha. Atualmente é diretora do Instituto Confúcio, China. Ela vai... Muito obrigada, doutora. Então...
Bom dia a todos. Okay. I'm afraid my Portuguese is not that fluent yet. So today I will conduct my speech in English. I hope that's okay. If you find it a little bit hard, we have an interpreter. That's good. Okay. Now let me begin. Okay. Before I begin, I'd like to make a self-introduction, brief self-introduction. Oh, by the way, can I use this? Yes. Yo, this is hard, you know. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, wonderful. Okay. You know, being a teacher for more than 30 years, I don't feel comfortable fixed onto the stage. So I like to keep moving. So, by the way, if you have any questions, you can stop me anytime. You can ask, but keep your questions short. Okay. Okay. A few words about me, myself. I'm now the Chinese director of the Confucius Institute in FAAP. Okay. I came in January this year. So it's now almost a year, except that I was in China for a year. For a month in in winter. In winter, in your time, but summer back in Beijing. Okay. And before that, from January 2015 to 2017, I was in Mexico, also as the Chinese director of the Confucius Institute. Okay, I was in Mexico, in Monterrey. Okay, and before that, or in between, I'm a professor at the School of International Studies, University of International Business and Economics. It's in Beijing. And before that, I was a Fulbright visiting scholar in New York, at CUNY, New York, USA. And before that, I was a postdoctoral researcher at Beijing Foreign Studies University, Beijing. Wow, what happened? Okay. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. So you can see better, okay. And as I was introduced just now, I got my PhD from the University of Bonn, Germany. So actually, my German is a lot better than my Portuguese. Okay, before that, I got my master's degree from Dalian University of Foreign Languages, Dalian, China. And I got my first degree from Shanghai International Studies University. Okay, that's basically my experience. Okay. As you can see, I've been to a lot of places. I have studied and worked in different universities and different countries. So that has been my experience. And okay, now I'll start my presentation. Some pre-departure questions. What is your impression of Chinese education in general? Or your impression of the Chinese students? Anyone? Okay. Clever? Okay. Hardworking? Thank you. Dedicated? Disciplined, yes. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your answers. Right, okay. The things you have said so far are all right, but I will talk about them later. Okay. Do you think they are short of opportunities? You think there are so many of us and we don't have many opportunities? Maybe. You will see. Okay. And they can only compete to enter Chinese universities through Gaokao. That is the National University Entrance Examination. Gaokao is the short version in Chinese. That means the National University Entrance Examination. I will use this concept a lot. Okay, so I will mark that in red. And not many of them go abroad to study. Actually, this is not true anymore. I will talk about this later. Okay. So what are we going to have today? Or what am I going to talk about today? So the first thing is preschool education, usually 3 years, and then primary and secondary, primary and junior high school. Primary is 6 years, and junior high school is 3 years. So these two combined together is 9 years. We have 9 years compulsory education time in China. By law, anybody has to study for 9 years at least. Okay. And then senior high school. That's the things we are going to have today. So first of all, preschool education. Okay. Preschool education. Competition in the Chinese educational system starts even in the preschool education period. Parents and grandparents alike compete to send their offspring to kindergartens with better resources, both in terms of facilities and teachers. Okay, that's very true. Okay, where anyone would try his or her best to send their children to the best kindergarten possible. Okay. And then at kindergarten, the preschool kids are grouped according to the ages. Usually, children start to attend kindergarten at the age of 3 years old, and they finish when they are 6 years old, okay? So a few words left out there, sorry. Okay, and then since this is the essential period to train kids' understanding of numbers from concrete to abstract, so teaching the abacus is a very good method. Okay, I have actually 2 videos concerning teaching abacus, how we teach the abacus and why we teach it. Because as you can see on the screen, in the abacus, okay, let me see this. Oops, oh. Okay, I don't know how to point with this thing. Maybe this? No, oh. Okay, anyway. As you can see, the abacus, the bees behind, and under, 1 means 1. But the bees on top, it is 5. 1 represents 5. Okay. So if your kids learn to use this, they will develop a concept of numbers. Okay. First, they learn 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, etc. 6, 7, etc. But afterwards, they will understand what the bees mean. Or even without the abacus at sight, they can still understand what the number is. Okay. I have a Chinese student talking about how to use the abacus and how to train the concept of number with the abacus later. Okay. Okay. By the time the kids finish kindergarten, they will have learned to read fairy tale, simple fairy tale text marked with pinyin. Pinyin is the Chinese phonetic system. Most of them have developed 1 or 2 interests, like playing the piano, playing the violin, or things of that kind, or either calligraphy or dances. Our little kids learn something at a kindergarten, no matter boys or girls. Okay. A majority of the kids can do calculation and subtractions within 20 by the time they finish kindergarten. Some kids can even carry out simple conversations in English, like what's your name, how old are you, where are you from, where do you live, something like that. Okay, pre-education at a kindergarten. Okay, I have listed in a table form. You can see that it's 3 years. They started to attend kindergarten at the age of 3, and they stay there for 3 years. And that's the things they learn. Telling stories, and learn some Chinese characters, basic calculation, that is the Abacus, mainly developing interest, dances, playing a musical instrument, etc. Also some simple English conversation. And they attend kindergarten 5 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You think, oh, that's a long time for kids. It is. But they have an hour or two for sleep during the day, and they have their meals in the kindergarten. So it doesn't appear to be too long. Besides, because most parents work, I mean, not only the father, but also the mother works during the day, so they have to keep their children in the kindergarten. That's why they attend the kindergarten for so long every day. Okay, we have a public and a private kindergartens. Right now, because we have a lot of kids, but not enough kindergartens, so there are some private ones. But generally in China, the public ones are good because they are all run by the government and financed by the government. So they are of good quality. Okay, now I'll talk about primary school education. As I understand, some of you are from primary schools here. Okay, kids tend to attend primary school at the age of 6 or 7. It depends on the area of where you are born, where your family lives, etc., and also depends on your birthday. So our new semester, our new school year starts on September the 1st. So if you have not reached exactly 6 years of age by December the 1st, you have to wait a little bit till the next year. That's why I said it's they begin at 6 or 7. Okay. They attend school for 5 days a week. And okay, you will be astonished to read that because in our, even in primary school, we have 40 to 45 students in each class. So the little ones move around like monkeys. You know, it's hard for the teachers to catch them and to get all of them attentive in class. So you have to do a good job. You have to be a very good teacher. You have to be very attractive to draw the attention of all of them, okay? So that's already hard work. Okay, the main subjects taught at primary school, when we started, we teach arithmetic, Chinese, English. English we start at the 3rd grade. Okay, by the way, we don't call it classes because we have many classes that begin from the same year. So we call that grade, okay? So the concept of grade is the classes in the same year. They start in the same year. Okay. Morals and society, that is, this is like, okay, you should respect the teacher. You can never say, hey, you can never say that. You have to say, Miss so-and-so, or in Chinese, we say, Wang Lao Shi, Li Lao Shi. That is, you put Lao Shi means professor or teacher, and plus the teacher is given a family name. So that's the way you should address the teacher, and how you should address the parents, and people of your parents' age, and someone on the street. Even you meet a policeman on the street, you cannot say, hey, hi. No, you have to address him as uncle, or a woman, in the case of a woman, or aunt, though he or she is not your aunt or uncle, but you have to talk this way. That's what I mean by morals and society. Nature, why fish swim in the rivers and in the seas, why bears and foxes live in the forest, something like that, okay? Other subjects like art, music, sports, health, simple legal knowledge, like when the traffic light is red, you should stop. You cannot rush to cross the street, something like that. Some rules and regulations. This is what I mean by legal, some simple legal knowledge. Infotech, how to use the computer, something like that. But actually, we don't have to teach that because in every family we have computers, and above all, we all have cell phones. So the kids are really skillful. They do everything on the phone nowadays. So we don't have to really teach that. Okay, I have two videos that says how to teach the multiplication, how to teach the chicken, and the rabbit thing. Okay, now please, thank you. ，proximal perform. So to give you an idea of how we teach multiplication. So we have a rhyme like this.
Problem. The problem says the farmer has 30 chickens and rabbits altogether. There are only 100 legs. Find the number of chickens and the number of rabbits the farmer has. Chicken has 2 wings and 2 legs. And what about rabbits? Rabbits have 4 legs, isn't it? Don't go for the accuracy of my drawing. Let's use it in understanding our logic. So, chicken has 2 legs and rabbits have 4 legs, right? This is the fact, okay? So now, let's assume that all of them are chickens. If all are chickens, how many legs will we have altogether? So all 30 of them are chickens and each chicken has 2 legs. So there should be total 60 legs. But this 60 is less than 100. How much less? It is 40 less than 100. Isn't it? These 40 legs actually belonged to rabbits. So again, these 40 legs which are left over, we have to give them to rabbits because they need 4 legs, right? And
Obrigada. Okay, just to give you an idea of how we teach this chicken and the rabbit thing. I happened to find this thing in English, so it was good. But in Chinese, it's the same thing. We just taught it the same way as shown on the YouTube video. So the idea is to tell you that we teach the chicken and rabbit thing in primary school using arithmetic method, and also in primary schools use the equation, and also in senior high school using the computer language thinking, okay? So that's the thing I want to say, okay. Going to primary school, okay. In recent years, the regulations for going to primary schools are based on where the kids live. That is, in which part of the city. In Chinese, we call it vicinity based. That is how near you are to the school. This has given rise to other problems like apartments which are near to very prestigious schools, their prices rocket up, okay? So this is another thing. This is another problem. Okay. In rural areas, children are provided with free lunch. In English, you say there is no free lunch, but we do have free lunch because in rural areas, generally speaking, the facilities are not so good. So the government pays to provide children with a free lunch. In order to guarantee the quality of free lunch, so if you are the principal, if you are the headmaster of that school, you have to eat together with the kids. Because if the headmaster is there, so the quality can be ensured. That's the idea, okay? Okay. Thank you. So by this, I want to say that the Chinese have a lot of clever ideas. So to get things done, get problems solved. Okay. And also in primary schools, kids need to study the school materials and develop other interests too. So in a minute, when I finish talking, I will play the video of a kid trying to play the keyboard, okay? Okay, now because of time, I can't go into detail about each one. So now I will go to the next topic, that is junior education. For junior education, the duration is also 3 years. It is compulsory. And a school place location. What is school place? That is a quota. How many can go to this school? This is a prestigious school in the city. Everyone knows. But not everyone can go to this school because there are not enough places for everyone. So it is, again, residence and vicinity based. And also, after finishing primary schools, the kids need to take a selection exam of mainly arithmetics and Chinese, only 2 subjects, and they will list, after finishing the 2 exams, they will list everyone's name there, from the highest to the lowest. Yeah, that's how we do it. You think, oh my gosh, that does not take the kids' privacy or anything like that into consideration. We think in terms of this, it's not violating the kids' freedom. So as a way to stimulate them to work harder, okay? That's our understanding. The best ones can go to public key schools, and these schools are usually with better resources. Some choose to go to private middle schools, which has access to higher education opportunities abroad, like the US, Britain, Australia, etc. Nowadays, we have more and more private junior high schools and even senior high schools that provide our kids with the opportunity to study abroad for their university degrees. And, but the majority of the primary school graduates go to middle schools on the residence and vicinity-based principle. Okay, because it's not within the reach of everybody to go to, not everybody can afford to go to a primary school, which is usually very expensive. Okay, school hours during junior high school, days for school, Monday to Friday, and class hours from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Normally, students get to school at 7:30 in the morning with half an hour for morning reading, mostly English or any other foreign language. We do have schools that provide Japanese or even German and any other language nowadays, but it's rare. It is seldom. It's not frequent. The majority of the schools provide only English. In the afternoon, there is usually an hour for sports. Okay, the picture I want to show is a morning reading. The kids just take their English textbooks and find a place to read the text aloud on campus. It's safe, no vehicles, and the children can concentrate on reading. Okay, some do it collectively in a classroom, led by a student or someone who is the best in this subject in the whole class. Okay, classroom composition. again, there are usually 45 students, so you can see the size of our student population, yeah? Usually 45 for every class, starting from the little ones, okay. And grade, as I said, classes of the same year. There are usually 10 classes or even more in one grade because of our large population. So when you talk about the students, if Brazilian schools say they will provide Chinese students learning Portuguese with an opportunity to study in Brazil, that's fine. So if you don't have to worry about the number of students as long as you do good publication, okay? So we have a lot of students, the resources. Okay, schools, in every middle school, there are usually 3,000 to 5,000 students. It's about the university size here, huh? Okay, so that's the number of students. The number of middle schools vary according to the size of the city. In a city as big as Beijing, the capital, we have several hundred high schools or middle schools. Some middle schools have only 3 grades, only junior high school. Some have both the junior and senior sections, okay? The types of middle schools vary too, as I said. Okay, so this class duration, class arrangement, 4 class hours in the morning and 2 in the afternoon with 40 minutes of each. So that's how our kids have to stay in class. And gymnastic exercises, this is the picture on the left. We'll play a video afterwards. And also this eye protection gymnastic, we call it ocular gymnastic exercises. I also have a video about that in a minute, okay? So this is like this. So there are four stages. You do 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's supposed to protect your eyes. So the 2 class hours at self-disposal in the afternoon, mainly for the students to finish their homework. But it's getting less and less because the teachers want to teach the students more and more and let them do their homework at home. Okay. Subjects taught in Junior 1. Okay, as you can see, to save some time, I won't read because everything is provided there. So I do want to draw attention to this. Oh, I accidentally found this. Wow, wonderful. This is how we teach equation, and this is how we recite ancient Chinese texts. Okay, the students have to do that too. Okay. That's the subjects taught in Junior 2, and as you can see, the numbers of different classes. By this, you can calculate for yourself how long the students have to stay at school. That's why they don't have time for homework at school. They can only do it at home. Okay. I said a course completion test. That is at grade 2, senior 2, some courses will be terminated. That is in grade 3, in junior 3, they don't have those classes anymore. So they will be having an examination called a course termination test or exam. Okay, that's the cases, that's the subjects taught in junior 3. All subjects will be counted in the entrance examination for high school, high senior school. I want to give you some notes to junior education. I said, theoretically speaking, there are 2 class hours at self-disposal in the afternoon, mainly for the students to finish their homework. But a common practice is that all schools try to make some extra time for main subjects like Chinese, math, and English. Thus, students do not have time to finish their assignments at school. Accordingly, they spend more time on their homework at home. It's not uncommon for students to work on their assignments till midnight. It is, even though it is only a junior high school, our students have this much to do. Okay, so they study long hours for sure. So at the very end, I put a competition. Competition starts very early, huh? Okay. Okay. Oops. Why? Ah. Okay. Thank you. Because of the pressure of the high school entrance examination, the majority of the students begin to go to cram schools. This is not something that the rich or the poor or what other kinds of students go. No, almost everyone goes to cram schools. You know what a cram school is, huh? Huh? See? Okay, okay. In fact, during summer and winter vacations, look at this, it's important. In fact, during summer and winter vacations, during the 3 years of junior high school, many students have learned in the cram schools the key contents of math, English, or even physics of the semester that follows. Okay, for example, when my kid was in junior 1, in the summer, we have a 2-month holiday. So I said, okay, you have nothing to do, I will send you to a cram school. So you'll learn the things that will be taught in junior 2. So by the time they start junior 2, she has already learned some of the key contents. So if for her, it will be easy to follow the rest of the class. So she can also make some more time for other subjects. Get the idea? Okay, okay. Or even when the new semester begins, they are sort of reviewing the course contents instead of learning them for the first time. And thus, they have an advantage over other students and have made some time for other subjects. Okay? So that's the idea. So our students work really hard. This is really the phenomenon, I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to have to tell you guys. So, but you can use this as a stimulus for your own students. You tell them how hard the Chinese students need to work, so they will feel less burdened, okay? Okay. Okay, now I will talk about senior school education. This is a really severe competition, okay, where at the end of the 3 years, the Gaokao comes along. Okay, to enter a senior middle school or high school, students have to take an entrance examination of all the subjects learned in their junior school period. Enrollment is merit-based. That is, the higher a student's sum score is, the better senior high school he's likely to enter. Okay, so if you if you are the first place, you can choose anyone from the whole city. Yeah, so the best one with the best facilities, with the best teachers, the best of everything. But if you are at the bottom, I'm sorry, your options are not that many, okay? So that's how it works. Okay, senior high schools are ranked as a province level, city level, or community level. There are various rankings for them. The majority of the high schools are public, but in recent years, there are more and more private ones, which train students mainly for SATs or prepare them to study in other countries. Parents do not want their kids, who do not want their kids to have the pressure of going through Gaokao, and who can afford financially choose to send their kids to private high schools. That is, they don't have to go through Gaokao. They take the SAT or any other equivalent test to study in a foreign university, okay? But this requires a lot of financial means, of course. So the types of senior high schools, actually we have 2 sets. Okay, one is here, the normal, you have primary school, secondary, junior high, and then senior high, 3 years. And we also have another set, primary school, junior high school, and then vocational or professional schools. I will talk about that. Okay, I said a note on vocational or professional senior high schools. After finishing 9 years compulsory education, some students enter vocational or professional schools. Okay, the names vary. They call vocational or professional senior high school, or sometimes without the word senior, professional school, something like that. Yeah, the names vary. At such schools, students can learn welding, you know, welding with that thing. Okay, operating numerically controlled machine tools, repairing cars, or learn to be chefs, hairdressers, or bus or train conductors. Okay, that is, you will start a profession after the 3 years. After 3 years study at such schools, students can also further their education at professional colleges and universities with majors targeted towards their specialties. It's also possible to go to the university if you go to vocational schools. But most parents don't like their kids to go there. Okay. I will talk about why at the end of my talk. Okay. Common senior high schools, that is a non-fixed class membership. Why is that? The best senior high schools are often referred to as key high schools by the general public. We say, a key school. Key in the sense of important. Yeah? Okay. In each grade of a key senior high school, there are at least 10 classes. Sometimes there are 20 or even 30 classes. Okay? So the number of students are really, really great. Okay. The classes of the same grades are ranked as ABC. So if we have 30 classes, the classes are not all the same. They are ranked as A classes, B classes, and C classes according to the student's sum score. Okay, you can go to A class if you are the best, or you are the best ones, and then B and C, etc. You understand the principle, huh? And the students of each class are first allocated according to their scores in the entrance examination of senior high school. But afterwards, it will vary according to the results of each exam that comes along later. Okay. I'm sorry, it's not working properly. Their students are not fixed through a school year because after every major exam of all the subjects, students' sum scores will be posted and sent to parents as well. So if you think I'm on good terms with the teachers at school, the teachers won't tell my parents. It's not true, because the results are known to the parents in the matter of a second. We have WeChat. Your parents already know your results. So, okay, that's how we discipline our students. And those who ranked at the top of their grade remain in A classes, and those ranking in the middle are allocated to B classes, and the rest in C classes. It is on a moving basis, yeah, it's not fixed. All through the 3 years at a senior high school, competition is white hot. We say white hot, it's really, really hot, yeah? Okay, so, okay, daily routine at a senior high school. You can have a look and your students will feel better. The above-mentioned key high schools usually require that all their students live at school dorms regardless of the home distance from school. Even you live only 5 minutes away from the school, it doesn't matter. You have to live on campus. Why is that? Because they call it the sequestration management. That is, everything is on campus. You don't get distracted by things outside the campus. Okay? So that's, this picture is a picture of a school dorm. Usually our dorms are this way. There are about 4 students in each dorm. Above is the bed, and under is the place where you study. You can also study when you go back to the dorm at night. Okay, that's the idea. And students usually live at school for 5 days a week. So if you prefer to study there on Saturday, it's okay. It's okay, you can do it. Every morning, the students get up at 5:30. Look at the timetable, yeah? And then after that, they do jogging or group exercises. And after that, they read English or Chinese because they need to recite Chinese text too. And then they are in the classroom already by 7 a.m. for self-study, okay? So it's a lot of work already in the morning.
Do many of them choose to stay on Saturday too?
It depends. Some school, when you reach senior 3, your time for self-disposal is about half a day per week. Okay? Okay, daily timetable. Classes start at 7:30, and there are 5 classes in the morning and 2 in the afternoon with 4 minutes each. After the 7 classes, students have 1 class hour for self-study, and then about 30 minutes for sports. They either jog or walk or play the kinds of balls they prefer. And self-study time in the evening, but it's usually with a teacher here. They are there on rotating basis. Monday is math, and Tuesday is English, Thursday is Chinese, and for Thursday is physics or whatever, okay? It's like this, okay. Okay, these are the courses taught at senior high. And as I said, reforms are constant because every year the Ministry of Education gets a lot of complaints about this and that. So they make reforms all the time, year after year. It's hard to keep in pace with their reforms because they always make reforms. Okay. The non-Gaokao subjects, for the non-Gaokao subjects, there are course completion tests which are administered before the Gaokao year. Students have to pass all of them to obtain a senior high school diploma. You can, oh, by the way, our passing grade is 60 out of 100. So if you get 50 or 59, I'm sorry, you have not passed this subject, okay? So that's the requirement. If they have not passed any of these tests, they have to retake this test after the Gaokao because students have more time afterwards. And foreign languages taught at senior high schools. English is taught in the majority of senior high schools in China. There are other foreign languages taught at high schools too, for example, Chinese, Russian. Chinese and Russia mainly in the provinces near to Japan and the provinces near to Russia, okay. And even French and German in some southern provinces. The number of languages other than English is relatively small. Gaokao subjects after the latest reform in 2018, starting from that year, students are not divided into humanity or science focused anymore. And rather they select exams they would like to be examined in. We call it 3 + 1 + 2. What does that mean? 3 means there are 3 compulsory tests, that is Chinese, math, and English. 1 means you can choose 1 from the 2, that is physics and history. You can choose 1 of the 2. And 2 means you can choose 2 among the 4, chemistry, biology, geography, and politics. Okay. Course completion tests are necessary to all. That's before the Gaokao year. Class hour arrangement. According to the school year, 1st, 2nd, or 3rd of senior high, the class hours may be different. Chinese, math, and English count for a majority of the class hours. That is 5 class hours per week. And other subjects like physics and chemistry, 3 or 4 a week. And sports classes is once a week, and once every 2 weeks for other subjects like infotech, fine arts, music, and psychological health. Why do we have this? Because some kids get very frustrated. They even develop some kind of problems. So we think it's important for kids to have this education. And exams in senior grades 1 and 2, exams for senior 1 and senior 2 students, except for the customary midterm and the final exams, they are examined by the month. Okay, every month they have exams, major exams. And students are ranked after each exam, no matter which. And the only difference maybe lies in that for the monthly exams, the test papers will be set by teachers of the same school, but for other major exams, they are examined at a city or province level. Okay, senior exams for senior 3, some students describe the third year at senior high as the darkest year of their whole life. That's the phrase used by these kids. Exams are frequent and even on a weekly basis. Some schools arrange 6 or 5 times a mock exams before the Gaokao to improve the students' performance. And the well-known Gaokao, what is Gaokao? It is administered on the same days nationwide. It's the 6th and the 7th of June each year. No matter which day, Saturday or Sunday, it doesn't matter, but the same days each year. And the examination papers are set by a group of experienced teachers and experts every year, chosen nationwide, okay? So there are 3 different levels test papers. For advanced, you mean before they graduate from high school? Yes, yes. As I said, they are on a rotating basis. If your scores drop, I'm sorry, you have to go to B classes. So if it drops still further, C. Okay. Yes, yeah, the other way around is also true. If you do better in the exam, you go to B, and if you are still better, you go to A. Okay, it's always like that.
How many of the population goes to the high school because it's not obliged?
No. The thing is, if you want to go, you have to compete really hard. It's about the percentage. I would say about half of the students can go to common senior high schools, and the rest maybe go to professional or vocational schools. And then the test papers are evaluated by provinces and municipal cities. That means also there are other exams administered before Gaokao. If you choose to major in art, you have to take the professional exam before the Gaokao time. So you get a certificate that says you have passed the test, and then you can take the Gaokao to make sure your other subjects are okay before you are accepted to a certain university. Oh, that's the way how it works. If students have passed such tests, they will be informed early enough to prepare for the Gaokao. Okay. And okay, university enrollment. After you have passed all the exams, so the great moment has come. You will get something like this. This is a notice of being accepted to a university. Yeah? Okay. Before 2016, students had to choose the universities and the majors they preferred after the scores achieved, according to the scores achieved in Gaokao. Each student could choose up to 5 universities and majors, but the first choice is considered the most important. Okay, so if you want to be a doctor or want to be a lawyer, you have to be really, really good. Huh? Otherwise, you cannot go. Every province would rank the students according to their Gaokao scores, and the students could choose the universities and majors accordingly posted that year. Let me give you an example of what some scores mean in Gaokao, or what it means to a student. Okay, let's say in the province, if I get, of a total of 750, if I get 600, okay, have I said it right? 750 is the total of the scores you can get. But if you get 650 or 40, okay, let's say 640. And my colleague has got 639. It means that before her, between her and me, there are 1,000 students. That's the influence, that's the impact of 1 point, okay? That's why our students study so hard. 1 point or one score means 1,000 people, 1,000 students. Understand why they rush, why they work so hard? Okay. So if she gets only 1 point less than I did in the Gaokao, it means that maybe I can go to my dream university and she cannot. Okay, that's the difference. So everyone has really to compete hard. Okay. The general principle is that the best students go to the best universities, and it goes on in this order every year. In fact, the enrollment rate for high school graduates can reach more than 90%. This is an important figure for you, yeah? Okay. But still, the students try their utmost in the 3 senior high school years because everyone wants to go to his or her dream university and to study their dream majors. Right now, the hot subjects, the hot majors are finance, artificial intelligence, law, or something like that, yeah, or even foreign trade. Okay, and okay, what do students do after the Gaokao? After having worked so hard for 15 years, including the 3 in the kindergarten, yeah, they just time for party, for enjoyment, for everything. I have a video for that too. Okay, they host parties. They go to long-distance trips with their parents. So for our travel agencies, they call it the post-Gaokao economy. Okay, I'm about to finish. Thank you. Okay. I think I'm just in time. Okay. Some Chinese beliefs of education. Some schools, some beliefs are like this. Oops. Okay. We have the strong influence of Confucius. Yeah, we think that's really important. And the vocational schools are not rated highly because our parents think that if the kids cannot go to other schools, let's go to the vocational schools, yeah? So that's what they think. Okay, now a lot of students choose to go study abroad because on the one hand, the parents can afford it. On the other hand, they think, oh, what the outside world looks like. I'd like to go and have a look, yeah? So that's their thought, okay. Observations of Chinese educational system. I do want to draw your attention to one thing, that is our math education. Our math education is really good. As I said, we teach kids Abacus starting from the kindergarten. This gives them a long time and systematic training. And examination tactics and techniques, good, they are good. And then also rote learning, some people think, oh, it's not good. But in my opinion, if you want to learn other foreign languages later in life, rote learning practice is necessary too. So learning to survive in a competitive society is the most important lesson you have to learn in Chinese schools. So I just want you to play the video for the Chinese student, okay? So that's my video, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Christine. I am of Chinese origin. I graduate with a master's degree in mathematics and I am a member of American Mathematical Society. Today I was invited to share my experience of learning math when I was in preschool. During my college years in the US, I often get questions like, what makes you choose mathematics, such a difficult and tedious subject, as your major? And I often hear parents complaining about the difficulties to cultivate their little kids' interest in numbers. I think the definitions of numbers are too abstract, and here's what I suggest. I learned the abacus when I was 3 and 4 as my initial math course. At the time I was in the kindergarten, I still remember how the teacher started to teach numbers. By moving the beads on the abacus, I could physically see and touch. That's how I gained initial understanding of what numbers look like and how plus or minus movement plays on the abacus. Later, when I was in the primary school, even without the abacus at sight, I could still conduct the mental calculations in the brain while performing a large sum of numbers. Now, when I look back as someone with mathematics teaching credentials, I regard the abacus as such a fantastic way of teaching children to make the transition from the visible numbers to the abstract meaning. Of course, the abacus is nowhere close to computers in terms of its calculation accuracy and speed, but it is definitely a fun way to teach mathematics to kids during their enlightenment education because of its tangible characteristics. And being fun is exactly what kids need when they first started to learn. I believe abacus has an extraordinary significance in primary math education. And in fact, I think a lot of the methods the Chinese math teacher conduct in preschool can be passed on to foreign countries. For example, the 9-9 rhyme. I will make a separate video, a separate lecture to explain more about the 9-9 rhyme. It is a poem and sounds like song lyrics. If the local kids learned the lyrics, they might be, or they will be, interested in learning multiplication later.
Agradecemos a doutora